Alright guys, this is going to be a video of 3 different backings. First one will be me from this dashcam view. Everything's going to be from the dashcam since that's all I had to work with easily. But this is approaching the pilot in Vega, Texas, which is off I-40 in the Panhandle. Exit 36, I believe. I'm going to back into one of the spots behind the building, or near the back of the building. And then after I get backed in, you'll see a dot line truck back into the spot, 2 spots over to my left. And after that will be a Swift truck trying to back into a spot just to the left of the dot line truck that I just backed. Okay, as you see, I'm approaching from the blind side, so I have some important decisions to make here with my backing. Either now, as I'm coming into the area here, I'm first looking at, now there's several open spots here, but the lane isn't that wide, and there's this, what is it, the trailer? Yeah, the cart with the trailer here in the way. That was also going to affect my ability to perform a U-turn style backing. So I didn't like any of these spots here. And, yeah, and I probably could have blindsided into this one, but why blindside if I don't actually need to? Yeah, it's the time of day and the amount of spots I'm seeing open, there are probably more spots open further down or even over on the other side of the fuel island that are probably worthwhile to check out. So I'm going to continue on. Now, I ended up doing a U-turn style backing, but what I'm doing here is I'm going to park right between this red truck and this blue truck right here. Now, I'll start my setup. I'm going to start my turn right when I get to the end of the red truck. As you see here, I'm going to do a complete U-turn. And because there's room for me to do it there, that's why I chose that spot. I see this little run-up right here. I think that's more for wheelchair-bound people, but it doubles up as a good use for a truck, too. So I just went ahead and made use of it. Now, when I stopped my setup, basically just enough where my trailer was out in front of my spot. In a normal U-turn style setup, I would normally finish my setup where the trailer is pointing out, basically pointing toward the spot that's 2 spots over from the one I want. And then I'd start backing up and into a turn, and my trailer will rotate right toward my spot. But because of this setup situation here with the building and the sidewalk and all that, I kind of modified the setup a little bit. This was by design here, though. Okay, so as you see here, I'm doing what I call the 4x4 techniques. When you're backing, this is what you call a 4x4. I pull forward and hard right, and then backward and hard left. I keep doing this so I can keep the trailer pointing in position in the same place it's already at, and I can work on getting the tractor squared up with the trailer when I do this. Okay, you see, I'm squared up with the trailer now. I'm going to come in straight back, and it was that simple and straightforward. Now, this is a backing I do a lot of, but I never see other sleeper cab drivers do it. I see plenty of day cabbers and yard jockeys do it, but why I don't ever see sleeper cab drivers do it also is beyond me. I mean, how did I learn this myself? Man, I didn't just make it up. I made it up by, well, I perfected it or honed my skills with it, but I first learned how to do it by watching yard jockeys and day cabbers do it. Okay, well, that's it for my backing. Now I'm going to show you the dot line guy who's going to back 2 spots over to my left. As you saw, the blue truck was parked next to me. It's still there. And dot line's going to come in and set up for a blindside. He's going to use this space over here for his setup. Now, he got in there safely, but now there's 2 things here, actually. One, it looks like he might be a little far away from the spots here. You want to be close, but not so close that the trailer will kick over and hit and grab onto somebody when you're making your turn. Generally speaking, 4 feet is what you want. If you can open your door, then you should be far enough away. This guy is a lot more than a door length away though, so that's going to affect his ability to set up just right. Now, when he did start his turn, it looked like it was okay to me at first. I'm going to back this up just a hair. And see right here, because remember, he's, in a normal setup here, you're going to want to, you start your turn when the front of your tractor or your hood mirrors, whatever, get to the opposite end of the truck that's parked next to you. At least that's if you do it the way I do it. So where he started his left turn for his setup actually wasn't bad. Wasn't poorly placed at all from what I could tell. See, he started his turn right. He started to turn the wheels as soon as the front of his tractor got where I would have normally turned it. But here's where he gave himself a more difficult time. Yeah, now he is concerned about getting his trailer far enough past the spot that he wants so he can actually rotate toward it. But as he comes more forward, he ends up creating. Now, see, I'm. At first, I was wondering also about how he ended up so far over this way, because the way he turned, it looks like he's trying to start more of a straight back type of setup. But as you see, his tandems are right in front of my spot when it should be 2 spots over. So that tells me from watching this that it was a combination of he might have been going a little too fast at the time and steered a little and took too long to get his max steering input in. Because one of my rules of thumb here is the faster you're moving, the faster you need to steer. The slower you move, the slower you can make steering inputs and get the right effect. Now, I don't think he had full left steering in either. That's part of why his trailer ended up so far off to the right. I mean, it's one of these cases where do you really want to blindside into a spot, or would it be better to just go past this fuel island here and either go find another spot to park in, or at least go past the fuel island and find a place to turn around safely, and then come back and approach it side and do a normal side type of setup. Now, them coming back, we'll wait for CRST to go by first. But you're going to see where he's got his focus on a couple of bad things. And now he didn't go, but he did have a passenger in the passenger seat to help. I suspect it was his wife, who's not a truck driver, who probably isn't so experienced at knowing what to look for. All she was there was to basically tell him if he was clear or not of the truck next to me. As he's coming in, so he's already starting to turn his tractor basically as his tractor is off over to the offsetting from his trailer is going to start rotating into the hole. The problem is, look where his tandems are. His tandems are still past over by the front end of my tractor. And he still needs to have them more over toward the guy to the left of me, and to the right of where he's going. Now, problem here is as he starts to rotate, it's going to take longer and longer, progressively longer for his tandems to get over out in front of his spot like they should be. Since he's over here anyway. So his tandems are right here, let's say right in front of my spot. That's one of the goals you should be looking for when you're backing into a spot. Most people will do what this guy's doing, which is why he had trouble getting in and why the Swift guy ends up hitting the front of this guy who you see now. It's because they're trying to come in at this bad angle, and they're not focused on where exactly their tandems are at, which is the moving reference point or pivot point in relation to the spot they're trying to get into. So you got to remember that the tandems aren't going to move as easily as the back of your trailer will. So as he's coming back, though, the corner of his trailer, it basically is just pointing the trailer right toward the open spot, trying to keep it just next to the guy on his blind side, or basically the blue tractor next to me. But now he's offsetting the tractor too much, and he's got too much steering in here. These are two other problems that he's running into. So, and the trailer is going to rotate too quickly toward the guy in the blue, on the blind side, I should say. You can see his wife or passenger, whoever it is, right there looking to help clear for him. But here's another problem here. It's something I don't ever advocate. Never do backings with your windows up. I don't care if someone's there in the seat with you or not. Roll them damn windows down. If someone else is over here trying to walk by or whatever, or yell to you that you're about to hit them, you're not going to hear them with that window down. Roll the damn thing down. That way, yeah, like I've said before, I had a former co-driver who actually did have a backing incident that could have been avoided by just doing that, because there actually was a person nearby over off to his blind side on when he was doing a side setting or setup, whatever. He could have avoided hitting the person, but because he didn't have the window down and wasn't in a position to hear the person yelling at him, he ended up having an accident instead. Okay, so when he did his reset, now he didn't really do much to help his situation here. The problem is his trailer is angled too much right toward the hole instead of out in front of the hole. So if you use this guy as an example, if he were to come straight back, let's say his tractor wasn't offset, he was coming straight back and he was trying to get into this hole where this red truck is. His trailer would come right over, basically right into the gap, right in between the front of me and whoever's on the other side of this red truck. That's what you do not want to do. This is how you make your backings difficult, and it's also how you make yourself much more at risk of having an accident and hitting somebody. Don't point your tractor over here. Point it out up in front of the spot, at least like maybe a good 10 feet out in front of the spot, and rotate around this spot here, not in this spot here. And that's where this guy here, the dot line driver, is having difficulty, is because he's trying to rotate down in here instead of up here. Now, by doing that, with his setup, see, he never changed the angle that his trailer's facing at. His trailer's still facing kind of like this guy is. Still pointing toward his hole. Now, if this was the spot that dot line was going into, he'd be pointing just like this, coming right toward the hole, instead of over toward me and then rotating toward the hole once it's in front of it. And the tandem position is every bit to do with why this is difficult. If the tandems are all the way back, he could get away with doing a backing like this, but if the tandems are forward like they are, and he seems to have them probably around the 39-foot mark, you have a good 11 feet probably from where his rear axle is to his ICC bar, and the actual pivot point is 2 feet forward of the rear axle. So in reality, it's a 13-foot difference from where your actual pivot point is at the 39-foot mark to the back of the trailer. So it's quite a bit of a swing that you're going to get on the at the back of the trailer that you won't get at where the tandems are. Okay, again, he's rotating the tractor over too quickly. This is part of the problem when you don't get out and look, or if you don't really know what you're dealing with yet. So he doesn't know where his tandems are in relation to his spot. Yeah, and at this point, I was even telling him trying to tell him on the CB. I don't think he had one on him, but I was trying to tell him on the CB, hey, if you're going to do that, you need to get your tandems more to the left, because you're not going to get in there very easily by doing that. Yeah, his correction there that he just made wasn't a bad move at first, but the problem was he didn't complete it. Okay. Turn into the right and forward in a blindside. This was good. Yeah, this was a good move at first, but he should have allowed the trailer to rotate more to basically the front of the trailer more to the right, which would have caused the back of the trailer to go more toward out in front of his spot, and then square back up with the trailer and then bring it straight back. But now see, he's in a left forward now. So he tried to try to stop the trailer from rotating, and now he ends up offsetting the tractor off to the left again. But in reality, if he had just done a regular S turn going forward, he would have had the same effect and had more room to work with to boot. Now see, he's doing it again right here. More forward, and then forward left, and then straight back till the trailer gets where you need it to be. and maybe even get the trailer to rotate on its own without any of your help. That can help. That can be a good option too. As you see if you watch a lot of my backings, you'll see that I don't steer while I'm backing up. Not in normal situations. I might make very minor adjustments with right steering when I'm doing side backings, but when I seldom ever do steer unless it's make a left and follow the trailer into the spot. Now again, he's having difficulty here. Is the back of his trailer is coming really close to hitting the truck next to me, and he's having to reset again, and he's not helping his situation there with that forward move again. He's turning the completely opposite direction of the way that I would go. So again, he's coming in. He's about to enter his spot at a higher risk angle, as I would put it. He might clear the. Now, he did eventually clear the guy next to me, but he did it with I would say, considerably higher risk than he needed to have. Okay, at this point, he's in the spot. He hasn't hit anybody. Now he just needs to get his drive tires further over to the left. Now, in my opinion, he was a little too big of a hurry to steer, which is very common. Just get the drive tires where they need to be so they're squared up with where the tandems are, and then or almost squared with the tandems, and then try to steer to get the front of your truck in there with it. Okay, now you're going to see a Swift driver come in pretty soon. Not this guy, but coming up. And there'll be a couple other little things here I want to show you about truck stop safety. Okay, something to take note of here while we're waiting is, see how Dotline has a deer guard on his truck? Okay, that's an important detail that notice here, because the Swift driver, you're going to see in a minute, you're not going to actually see it actually happen, but the ICC bar on the back of Swift's trailer is actually going to grab hold of and rip that deer guard right off of that Dotline truck. Now, Swift, you're going to see come in and do the exact same thing, but he's going a little quick, or a little fast, I think. I don't even recommend driving the speed he's going, even if you're not going to set up a backing, let alone in the middle of a backing setup. Okay, here's Swift. Now, see how quickly he came into the picture? Also, take note of when he started his turn. Now remember, Dotline is 2 spots over from me. He's going to park on the other side of Dotline. I got this blue truck that I parked next to, and then Dotline 2 spots over, and then he's going to park 3 spots over from me. Now, he's starting his turn too late, and he came into the lot too fast, too high a speed. Add to that, you got this guy getting ready to walk across the lot. Something that, all right, where do you think your trailer and is going to end up while this guy is trying to walk into your path? It's another reason you don't need to be driving so fast through the lot. And also, you need to be a lot more aware of what's going on around you. See, he's also trying to do a little bit more of try to use all the space he can, but created a bad angle. Now this guy has to run to make sure he doesn't start getting backed into by Swift. Maybe Swift saw him, maybe it didn't, but I don't blame the guy for wanting to get out of the way quickly, because you never can be sure unless you see the guy in your mirror and you know he sees you. Okay, now Swift is going to make the same mistakes here that Dotline made. The only problem is he didn't have a passenger in the seat or out in front of the truck to spot for him, and he didn't goal either. But all right, I need to pause this because he's not understanding this either. Keep the trailer coming in out in front of the spot. He apparently didn't like what he had there, so he reset. When he went forward and left, which way do you think the trailer is going to rotate toward? Now the trailer is going to rotate more this way toward me, or the back of the trailer is going to rotate more toward me and away from the side he really wants it to rotate toward. So if you're doing a blindside, remember, if you're pointed too much straight into your hole, go forward and right and then forward and left. until you're straight across the lane, and then just go straight back and let the trailer do its own work, and see how that works out for you. It's the opposite way for the sight side. If you come in sight side and your trailer's coming in a little too heavy toward the sight side person next to you, make the exact opposite adjustment. Go forward hard left, and then hard right, so you're lined straight up with the lane, and then just come straight back and watch the trailer do its own work. Okay, so he didn't help his situation here. He actually made it more of a challenge because of the way he brought the trailer over. Now see, he's coming backward doing the exact same thing that he just went forward. He went into a forward left, and then he came backward left. That had absolutely zero overall impact on anything with the trailer. So if you're making a forward correction, don't do it unless you're going to give yourself some kind of a different setup. If you're just going to go forward with some turn and do the exact same thing back the other way, there was a completely pointless move. It did absolutely zero at all for you. Now see, here's again. He keeps pointing the trailer in the wrong direction. And now I think he's going to be waiting for another truck to come by. If I remember right, I think there was another truck that was going to pass by and another driver going to walk toward the building. Or maybe that was a detail I missed earlier. But that was one of the things about truck stop safety. You see a guy getting ready to back up, don't walk behind his truck. Go walk in front of it. Even if the shortest path for you is behind his truck, it's not smart to go behind someone, especially if you can't be absolutely certain that they can see you. Again, Swift here keeps turning the completely wrong direction. The problem is not the back of his trailer. The problem is his tandems. They're too far to the right. They're way out in front of the guy 2 spots over from the spot he wants. He needs them tandems way over there, another good 20 feet to this left. He's nowhere near there, and the only way he's going to get that is if he moves forward and gets the trailer angled this way instead of toward the building. Okay, now as he's coming back here, the next one I think here's... he did grab a hold of the deer guard. It is basically this corner of his ICC bar basically wrapped around the deer guard on the... Or actually, he already did hit him. Let me come back to this. Okay, the person walking behind. Not that one, but... I'm going a little too fast. Okay, this is where Swift impacted him, I think. Okay, so coming backward like this, and his tractor's offset. Basically, his ICC bar wrapped around the deer guard on the dot line truck, and then when he corrected forward instead, like that, right there, it caused the back of his trailer to move even more out behind the deer guard. And as he went forward, he ripped the deer guard right off of the dot line truck. This is something you got to watch. Don't make this mistake. If you're close to someone like this, don't go turn in the opposite direction. This is exactly how a lot of these problems happen. Okay, as you see though, Swift's just having all kinds of problems trying to figure out what the hell he's doing with this trailer. He obviously doesn't have a good concept at all of how to control that trailer or where to point it or anything. Okay, he waits here and then still trying to... at this point, I can't tell if he's trying to get into his spot or what, but it ends up changing his mind. Now, even over here, it gets to where... he apparently is going to leave and go park somewhere else. He didn't flee from the scene, but he was, he even told the guy, he came out the window and told the guy he'll be right back. He'll meet him in a second. But he didn't make full use of his space here to back up. He had room to back all the way up to a 90-degree jackknife position. But he started going forward before he even got anywhere near that. See, he's only at about maybe a 60 or 70 or whatever, and he still could have been backing up more and giving himself more room and a better angle on top of it to get his tractor the room it needed to clear this guy here. Well, anyway, I ended up going back inside the building for something, and when I came back out, I talked to the driver who got hit and asked him if he had a dash cam, because I was going to tell him I have footage of the Swift driver basically backing near him. I don't have him actually making contact, but I at least have something that could possibly be useful to him if he didn't have his own dash cam. But turned out he does have a dash cam, so I didn't end up giving my footage to him. But as you can see, the driver's right over here talking to the guy who got hit right now, letting him know he's going to go park somewhere else and deal with it when he gets actually gets out of the way. The cops ended up showing up and handling the situation before he even, I think by the time he even was over there parking in a different spot. They were pretty quick. Because the whole time the driver who got hit, he was already on the phone as soon as it even happened. But these are just some of the lessons I want you to take from you with you if you're new to backing, new to trucking and want to work on your backing skills. I like being able to show real world backings that people do, so you can get ideas for what are they doing right, what are they doing wrong, and then you can get ideas on how to do it yourself. So I hope you got some kind of information out of this. I know it's not going to be the easiest to follow, but just keep watching, keep reviewing through it. Watch how the tractor moves. Watch what impact it has on the trailer. Which way does the trailer's angle go? Where's the trailer pointing to? All these little details. Also, when you are backing, important lesson here. Don't fixate on one single detail. Well, when I spent time as a trainer, most of the time the drivers I was training would fixate on the tandems. They wouldn't pay any attention at all to the back of the trailer. Now, there's nothing wrong with paying most of your attention to the tandems, but you need to also be using your peripheral vision if you're going to do that and know what's going on with the back of your trailer, what's going on right here at the pinch point, basically where your trailer and your tractor meet. Because what kind of angle it goes on here is what determines how fast the trailer is going to roll or rotate. The steering, front of your tractor is another important part. Steering is not such a big deal for actually getting the trailer to rotate. This tractor offset angle here is where all of that is controlled by, but the steering actually controls how quickly that changes. So if you add in more, let's just say right steering on a sight side, then it's going to accelerate the rotation a lot more quickly than it will if you're just steering straight. But the trailer is going to accelerate its rotation even without you steering if you're backing in an offset like this. So little things like that, I think they can go a long way. It's just you never know what little detail can make a big difference in your own backing process or what could improve your backing skills. I hope at least some of you get some good value out of this. Please add any comments or inputs, whatever. Was this very helpful at all to you, or what ways can I improve this, or what else would you like to see? As usual. All right, that's all I have for now. Thanks.